1059 QWiK Rock, Lion Country's rock station. I'm Mark the Shark, and today we are happy to have on the program Cory Marks. Man, oh man, it's great to have you on the show today.
It's a pleasure to be here, Mark. Thank you so much for having me, and thanks for all the support. I really appreciate it.
Good. And we do appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. One of the shows that we're promoting right now on QWiK Rock is Theory of a Deadman, Saint Asonia, and Cory Marks. You guys are going to be live at the Santander Performing Arts Center coming up in early November. I believe the date is November the 10th. Now, I know for a fact, since you're from Canada, that's probably how you got associated with, Theory of a Deadman. We're big fans of those guys. We support Saint Asonia with airplay on some of their latest records. And of course, we're playing the brand new Cory Marks, soon to be smash hit at Rock Radio, Make My Country
Thank you,
Rock.
man.
And we'll be talking about that. But anyway, the show's coming up in November. So do you like being out on the road like that and playing the shows? This is an unplugged show from what I understand.
Yeah, it's the Unplugged tour with Theory of a Dead Man, and yeah, I grew up in their music, and obviously I've worked with Tyler before on a song of mine called "Blame It on the Double," and we've been friends ever since, and he's just such a great down to earth dude, and I'm not sure if it has something to do with him being Canadian, but he's a cool guy, and the whole band's been really great. I'm really looking forward to the tour. I love being on the road. It's just honestly, it's a little liberating for me because I get to go out and see the fans and hear them and feel them and every night, and it's something my dad's always said, do what you love and love what you do. And when I'm lucky enough to go out there and play my songs to these fans and see them sometimes singing the songs back to me, it's a very special feeling that I know that a lot of artists can really relate to. And I can't wait to head back across the US again.
Yeah. And just like anybody, before we're getting ready for the interview, I always check Wikipedia and find out your bio. We found out that you're 35 years old. Oh, by the way, happy belated birthday. You
Hey,
just celebrated a birthday.
yeah,
What,
yeah.
back on October 11th?
October 11th on Friday. Yeah. So it
Oh,
was
wow.
let's just say it was a pretty great long Thanksgiving weekend for me and some friends and family. It was a really good time.
Got it. All right. So again, a happy belated birthday.
Thanks,
Um,
Mark.
okay, you grew up in North Bay, Ontario.
Yes, sir.
Um, Learned how to skate at a very young age. I'm assuming that being from Canada, you're used to all the snow and ice, and you probably learned how to skate before you walk. But uh, you learned how to skate at a young age. I mean, do you remember that day?
I remember my dad, holding, I think there's a picture of me my mom has somewhere. I'm in this like one piece little snowsuit at one of the hockey rinks, and my dad holding me up under the arms, and I got my little helmet on and my little skates. And I grew up in a big hockey family, so all my cousins, both on my mom's side and my dad's side, and my brother, of course, my big brother, we've been, and my dad. I mean, my dad is he's gonna be 68 in December, and he still plays anywhere from 1 to 3 times a week.
Wow.
So I mean, he plays more than I do in a year now. I only play like the odd beer league tournament. But it's yeah, we grew up in a hockey family and been on skates for quite some time.
And speaking of that too, you mentioned your older brother. Do you want to go ahead and, for the benefit of our listeners, tell
Yeah.
everybody who your brother is?
My brother is Matt Markworth. So he's an NHL draft pick. He played junior, he left home at 16 at a very young age and, started playing junior hockey and eventually got drafted to the Columbus Blue Jackets in 2007. And he just recently retired. This will be the fourth year now, which is crazy. Time flies. But he's now a coach. Now he was coaching the Seattle Thunderbirds in the WHL, and just recently got the assistant coach job here at home for the North Bay Battalion of the OHL, the Ontario Hockey League. And
Wow.
this is his first time home in 21 years, so it's really nice to have him back. But he played 14 years pro, and one of those teams were actually the Reading Royals.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's been everywhere. He went over the UK and Germany and England, and he's had quite a great career. And I think I told him that when he said he was going to retire about 4 years ago, that I said, it's pretty emotional for him, but of course, for us to see him that way too. But I said, you know what? I think your dreams of going to the NHL have just begun.
Got it. Now, moving ahead now with your career, we're going to move right into your college days. Now, I understand you did play hockey in college
Yeah, I
yourself.
mean, I didn't go to too many of those college courses, but
Yeah.
I did play hockey. So I played 3 years at junior myself, and I actually had the opportunity to I got an offer of a Division I scholarship at Ohio State University for hockey, but I was just out of high school, and it was my first year junior. I was a little kind of on the older side of
Right.
playing, being a rookie of junior hockey, but I kindly declined actually because I couldn't see myself going back to school, and at that time, and there was a few other offers, like even some potential European professional leagues and stuff. But eventually, I played out my junior career, and I thought, what the hell else am I going to do? At the time, I'll be 21 years old. I've always dreamt of being a fighter pilot. The Royal Military College of Canada wants me to come play on the hockey team, get a degree, get paid to go to school instead of coming out in debt. And so I took that offer, and I was only there for about 6 months. And unfortunately, things didn't really pan out. Um, it's a to make a long story short, they kind of messed up the process. So at that time, I just started playing guitar and singing and stuff, and it was in Kingston, Ontario, where the Royal Military College of Canada is. And again, I was enrolled as a fighter pilot. That's what I was planning on doing. But let's just say I caught the bug once I started playing, the odd pub every now and then, getting to be a special guest on a local legend there. He brought me up a few times, and my teammates actually surprised me. I was a basement, or some people will say closet singer, but
Right.
I was just singing on. I do like covers on Facebook or something like that. And I never really sang in front of anybody, so I was really, really nervous. But obviously, a little liquid courage never hurts. And
Now,
the
see,
rest the rest is
now we're
history.
getting to the interesting part here. So, okay, hopes of being a fighter pilot, and you went to the college there, Royal
Yep.
Military College. All right, you're playing guitar, and you get out there, and okay, now we're into the music career. Okay,
Hmm.
so a little encouragement from your friends. Um, what was that feeling when you first got up and played in front of a live audience? Do you remember that feeling?
You know what, I really do. And now that you're, mentioning it, I kind of remember the whole layout at this little bar in Kingston. But the thing is, before that, I was a drummer. I've been playing drums since I was, 8 or 9 years old. So I was in high school bands, metal bands. We did like, we'd cover like Slayer and Lamb of God and Pantera and all that kind of stuff. But I was obviously from Canada. My dad being from Toronto, a huge Rush fan. So
Yeah.
I grew up on a lot of Rush and Deep Purple and Grand Funk, and that's kind of where I was very familiar with being behind the kit in front of, crowds of whether it was 50 people or 500 people. But to be able to sing behind just you, the microphone and guitar was a little uneasy. So I remember that bar for the first time going like, holy crap, don't mess this up. Don't mess this up, man. And I think I did two covers and one original. And I remember that feeling of people going like, "Where else do you play? Hey man, would love to come out to your next show. Do you have CDs available or anything?" And I thought, wait a minute, if they like this and I get better at it and keep working at it, maybe take a crack at this thing. And a few months later, sure enough, it didn't pan out. And my brother's girlfriend at the time said, "Well, hey, why don't you come home and come play the bar that I work at every Wednesday?" And I mean, you could start there, and we'll give you a couple $100. And I remember reading off a laptop and just being scared shitless
Yeah.
behind the guitar and reading off a laptop singing to a couple hundred people. And again, the rest is history. Just
Yeah.
I started going from one bar to the other here in North Bay, and then I slowly started putting a band together, and then started doing fairs and festivals, and just kept going from there.
Good. And again, your music influences, which you described a couple of the bands that you listen to, according to your bio, influences include Waylon Jennings, Merle Haggard,
Yes, sir.
Brian Adams,
Oh
Ozzy
yeah.
Osbourne, and you also mentioned fellow Canadians Rush.
Yeah.
Um, the genre that you're described as is country rock, outlaw country, and hard rock. So how do you describe the Cory Marks?
Oh man, I like just like you described. I think
We're like a
it's
big
really
melting pot, you know?
that's it's basically yeah, it's basically it. I really just want to try to do something different, but I'm a huge rock and hard rock fan, but
Right.
I love the energy and the stomp of rock and roll, but I also love the storytelling and the heart felt lyric of country music and story. So, again, being a Merle Haggard fan, Waylon and Bryan Adams, but like you said, there's Rush, but then in my later in my teens, I just loved like bands like Pantera, like the musicality and melodies and of course someone, God bless them, Dimebag and Vinny, the way they connected. I mean, it was just I just thought it was so powerful. I thought, well, how can I mix some country storytelling in with rock and hard rock or even a little bit of metal. And that's kind of I've always kind of been that way. It's like even if it was meant to be a country song, there's still a little rock behind there.
Right.
And one of those things for me is like for someone like it's a little less hard rock, but he's a rock legend and a Canadian icon, of course. Bryan Adams
Mm.
is the fact that he could either with a song either make you want to cry, make you want to fall in love, make you want to party, or just make you want to rock out and sing your heart out.
Right.
That's just such a unique and cool, I think, powerful thing that he's got that is very influential to me. Like I want to be that way too. Just have some diversity.
Got him. So, again, going forward, then uh, you're playing with the band, you're playing in the bars. You eventually put out your first album, I believe it was in 2015. This
Yeah.
Man, is that correct?
Hmm. That's it.
Uh, and then the next album, a couple of years later, I believe it would have been around 2019, 2020,
Yeah.
when you put out Who I Am.
Yes.
And with that, your big debut breakthrough with the song "Outlaws and Outsiders," you managed to team up with some pretty iconic people for that record. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, that was a very special moment, and it was a special song because I just kind of I guess because of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, you just always felt like you couldn't fit in. And I remember just having that idea of that stomp, that Outlaws and Outsiders would be such a cool hook, and that's really how I was feeling. And having such great producers like Kevin Turco help you co-write that song and make it what it was very special. Now, being the only country artist on Better Noise Music, I was in some elite, you know, friends and bands, and that being Five Finger Death Punch and Motley Crue at the time. Um, so I know that they reached out to Mick about the song, and Kevin reached out to Ivan, and we got a hold of Travis Tritt's manager. And I just got word that they all love the song. They love kind of what I was doing and the message behind it. And now that I look back at it, and I've always said that, I think they were all outlaws and outsiders in their own right. Travis Tritt was doing that Southern country rock that no one was doing at the time, and it did his own thing his own way. Five Finger Death Punch have been doing their thing for many years and such a great job at it. And of course, I always say you don't really have to say much. You just got to say the name Motley Crue, and everyone understands and gets kind of what they were all about, especially if they saw the movie. And there was nobody else like them at the time. And again, with all these acts, so to 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 find out that they're going to be on the song and not only just be on it but love the song, that was just like pinch me moment for me in my career, and it ended up being a big hit, global hit, and
Yeah,
especially in the
I was going to
States.
say we were checking some of the stats on that.
Yeah.
You were into the millions and millions of global streams. I believe it was
Mhm.
over what 260 million. I know you went
Yeah,
platinum in Canada, gold in the U.S.
yeah.
That was a big
It
thing.
it was yeah, and I mean that's the first time I experienced that as an artist, and seeing the way people connect to that song is the most important,
Yeah.
especially not only as the artist but as a songwriter. To see people connect to that and relate to your art, your music, and your lyric is it's something very special, and I hope to have many, many more like
Yeah.
that, especially with all my country rockers out there that they're going to love to make my country rock.
And I'm glad you moved. What a transition. So now the new song is "Make My Country Rock" from Cory Marks, and you can hear that on 105.9 Quick Rock, Lion Country's rock station. Coming from a guy named Mark the Shark, I'm pretty big on nicknames. I also noticed in your bio, there's a couple of nicknames that you go by. And since we're Lion Country's rock station, we're right
Yes,
here. Penn State University Nittany Lions are in our backyard, so we're Lion Country's rock station. And I noticed that one of your nicknames is Lion Man. Can you tell us
that's it.
how
Yeah,
how'd you get that one?
well, that was from touring across Canada, and I think because I think at the time I was maybe the only country artist, not only Canada but maybe the world, that was doing a medley of Holy Diver, Kill Switch Engage music, but singing it like Dio, the way
Like
Dio did
Dio.
it.
Right.
And we went. It was a medley that we did half that song into Footloose, Kenny Loggins. So it was very like, what the hell, you know? But it's also you know, being the long hair and I guess the loud vocals, and there's often a lot of uh photos of me, you know, or it looks like I'm just yelling at people, but it's the metal screams and the growls and stuff. And someone referenced like the heart of a lion kind of thing,
Okay.
and so that's how I got that one. And when I found out that, you know, the Lion Country thing, I'm like, this is the perfect station for me. This is going to be fantastic.
That's perfect. And again, if you ever come to Lion Country, and we hope that you do,
I will.
We've got the Bryce Jordan Center here at in State College. You can be our official Lion Man. How's that sound?
I
Good.
love that, Mark. I think that's fantastic.
All right, guys. All right, so let's talk real quick about the brand new song. Again, 1059 QWiK Rock, Lion Country's rock station. Proud to be one of the very first radio stations in the country to start giving Cory Marks airplay on Make My Country Rock. Tell us a little bit about the song. We're going to be playing it here in just a couple of minutes, and people can hear that on QWiK Rock. But just tell us about the influence. Tell us about the song.
Yeah, well, I wrote that one with Zach Malloy and Blair Daly. We were down in Nashville, and you know, they really understood the kind of artist I was, and they knew that I love my country, but I love my rock, and it was kind of just you know, even a reference to Outlaws and Outsiders, you know, where there's a little country but a little rock and a little metal, and you know, we just thought of the title "Make My Country Rock," and you know, it's just one of those things that kind of came together just based on, you know, telling a little bit of a story of who I am, and kind of, I guess, how I roll. And you know, it was a very cool right off the hop. We started getting those licks, and I just thought, man, this song really stomps. And when I we recorded it at first, you know, especially when I showed the band and some of the people in my team, they're like, dude, this is going to be the next Outlaws. You know that, right? I said, shit, I hope so. And of course, we wanted some features, so I thought, well, I'm going to ask Travis, I'm going to ask Mick. And I remember Travis calling me to have the conversation, and we are just you know, I was on tour, crossing Canada on this tour, and I says, well, you know what, I'd love to be on that song, Cory. It worked pretty good last time, didn't it? And when I was in Nashville, I gave Mick a call and went over to his house, and I thought that was a pretty good sign, because when I walked into his house, all it's this big, huge opening, and all it was Marshall stacks, these huge amps, just all over the house. But then he looks back at me and he goes, "Hey, that's pretty cool, huh?" And he points toward the amps, and there's one gold record sitting there, and it's ours, the Outlaws and Outsiders, sitting in the middle of his amp.
Uh-huh.
And I thought, holy crap, that's really cool. And I showed him the song, and he says, "All right, well, give me a week or so, and I'll send some guitars back." And you know, I love it. Yeah, I'd love to be on it. And you know, and the rest is history. And then as we got closer to it being finished, but we need one more feature. And there were some names that come up, but then when Sully's name come up, I thought, well, that was a band that I heard a lot of growing up, but I always remember the whole dueling drum solo. I thought, if we can make this work, because I feel like him and I would connect really well. He's a singer songwriter, but he's also a drummer and does drum solos in his shows, which I think that's something we can relate on. And I think it's very important to just to actually have some sort of connection one way or another. And then I found out that he absolutely loved it, and he was coming in to record the song, and then just sent me a beautiful text how much he admired the song and thanked me for being on it. And you know, the rest is history. And now here we have it, Make My Country Rock, featuring Mick Mars, Travis Tritt, and Sully Erno of Godsmack.
You got it. And we're going to be playing that on 1059 QWiK Rock here in just a couple of minutes. One question that I do want to ask you, and I hope I don't throw a curveball at you, but you told me about all these influences and all these bands and all these genres. I like to ask everybody that I interview this question, and here we
Hmm.
go. Cory Marks, if you were stranded on a desert island and only had one album or one CD to listen to for the rest of your life,
Yeah.
what would it be?
Oh, see, that'd be a tough one between well, there's 2112. I just think that's a cool album and the whole story behind that record. But right now, as I sit here today, it would probably be Reckless, Brian Adams.
Reckless, you got it, man. Good stuff. Um, just to show you what a small world this is, you mentioned Travis Tritt a few times. One of my good friends that I graduated with from high school here in central Pennsylvania
Hmm.
actually was Travis Tritt's sound man for quite a few years. And
No way.
he's actually got some ties here in central Pennsylvania. So it's great stuff. It's a small world,
It
and
really is.
I'm glad you're a part of it. And again, here at QWiK Rock, we're proud to support Cory Marks. We're looking forward to seeing you along with Theory of a Deadman and Saint Asonia coming up at the Santander Performing Arts Center in Reading, PA, in November. And Cory Marks, thank you. You're a gentleman, and you're a rocker, and we appreciate you for taking the
Well,
time out being on the radio.
well, Mark, it means the world to me, and I can't thank you enough for supporting me and my music and Rock 105.9. Lions Country is the best, so thank you so much.
You got it. Can you go ahead and introduce your song, and we'll go ahead and play it?
Absolutely. Uh, hey, Lion Country, this is Cory Marks, and you're listening to Make My Country Rock.